Welcome. It's finally here. Wrestling with Ski. First episode. We're talking about doing it for a while. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Hoping the new light there, it's doing something. I'm going to have to keep playing with it. But it's better than my head glowing from the other day, right after I got done painting Friday, I believe it was. So, I got another one. I fiddle around with it, try to make it better. But here it is. First episode. And we're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, as it was last night. And there were some really high points. There were some low points. Everything has to have it, but all around, I thought it was a really good job of the pay-per-view. There was a very long time where, they were garbage. Like, you could still predict some of it. Like the women's tag team title match, we knew it was going to happen. Like, how it was going to end, didn't know, but we all knew that Sasha and Bianca weren't going to win that one against Nia and Shayna. So, there was that. But, all around, I thought it was a very good night. And break right into the first chamber match. They put on a good show there, SmackDown. And they had great talent. Cesaro was in there. Right? When was the last time he got a big, singles push ever? I remember when he was the United States champion way back when. Way back when. Like, Oksana was still around. The ones he had from major real, anything. I think that he's just undervalued, underutilized, under everything. Underappreciated for the talent he is. Because that guy, why do you think he's in all these successful tag teams? This many different partners he's worked this well with, champions, with so many different people. There's a reason they keep putting him in those situations. Sadly, I wish they would give him a push, but maybe one day before his run's over at WWE. But I think if anyone's deserving of one, Cesaro's definitely on that list. Daniel Bryan. Look at his big run. For WrestleMania all those years ago, the Yes Movement. They occupied Raw. He got his match at Mania, and he went on. He beat Triple H and then Batista and Randy Orton in the same night. Boom, champion. Just like the SO Mania was born. And then he had all the injuries. He had to retire. He came back. He had his run. He turned heel, went to the Planet's champion. And since then, he's now come back to the good side. And he could still put on a doozy of a match. Doozy. He's still one of the best talents on the roster. Do I think he's going to get another big main event push? No. Would I like to see? Yes, but it's great talent there. Sami Zayn. And look at Sami Zayn. Back in NXT, did amazing things. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was in that match at TakeOver against Shinsuke. In Shinsuke's first match in NXT, and it was Sami Zayn's last. And that thing, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. I believe it was TakeOver Dallas. That was an amazing, epic match. It proved you exactly what kind of talent Sami Zayn was in the ring. His rivalry with Kevin Owens. Then him teaming up with Kevin Owens. Yep, that whole thing. Against Shane McMahon, going this, hey, you're fired, this, that, everywhere, got hurt. And the stuff he's doing now. He plays a crazy conspiracy theorist with his own, camera crew and, all that, documenting everything. Amazing. He plays it so well. He looks, he looks like he's crazy. He's got that on point. And Jey Uso, look at him. Since he's done all this, they're using him this time when his brother's out hurt. Multiple-time tag team champion. Lots of them for many, many, many years total. Combined runs. One of the most talented people on the roster, and I think it's great to see him. Getting to do this, as ridiculous as some of it is, he actually, he's done a good job since he started teaming up. And being Roman's whatever you want to call him. But he has been, he has turned it up, he proved he can do it. On his own. It's been amazing. There was such good talent just with that, in that match. Now, was I happy to see Cesaro go out so fast? No. I thought, especially with the way they've been pushing him lately. He's been they have, between matches, commentary, everyone is pushing Cesaro. And I don't understand how he hasn't gotten a big push for things. The fans like him. He's obviously won all these tag team titles with all these different partners, so obviously he knows how to do it. He's one of the best handsome guys. Super powerful. I mean, the guy can talk in a bunch of different languages. I mean, the guy's good all around. So would I have liked to see him last a little longer? Yes. Just because of the push they're in. Because it's been like it's been so long without one. Without any big push for anything minus tag team titles. Which I think he's a better talent than. I think he deserves to have, a major push. I don't know what they're waiting on. There could be stuff that I don't know about. There's stuff that you don't know about, David. Man, would have liked to see him last longer. Corbin's been doing good too. Like, he plays the heel really, really well. Did I like him being Kurt Angle's last match? No. But he's really good at what he does. So it's good to see him out there. I mean, like, there's lots of good stuff going on that SmackDown match. I mean, and then Daniel Bryan, in the end, finally was the one to get his hand raised, and then obviously hit Roman Reigns' music. He comes out, and at least they let Daniel put up a fight. I mean, because we all know that he wasn't going to win, but at least they gave him just a few minutes. Or at least looked like he could win. He was putting up a fight. Like, which is really, really impressive. Like, I mean, at least they gave him that. That could have went so sideways. And it could have just been a bludgeoning. As we have seen bludgeonings in the past. And, but it went well. I was okay with it. We all knew it was going to happen. At least they made him look like he could actually do some kind of offense. So I was good with that. And then we could also talk about the U.S. title. The United States Championship match. Like, that was a match. That was a great one. I mean, for who was in it? I mean, Bobby Lashley, who they have turned into a legitimate monster. Just pummeling everyone in his path. Especially Matt Riddle lately. I mean, he used to be just a beast. And I think this is a better run than he had his first time around. I think, I see him very, very shortly getting that title shot and being the man. But in that match, last night, Riddle finally got the win. I mean, granted, he did not pin Bobby Lashley after all these months. He pinned, John Morrison, who I want to know why he's been back for this long and hasn't gotten, like, anything, really. I mean, no big push for anything. I mean, made some songs and dumb stuff with The Miz, but why has he been here back for this long? And he's still The Miz's Patsy. He goes out there and he's the one that gets pinned to save, Lashley. So he wasn't the one to lose. Now he could always come back and say, I want my title back. I never lost it. I didn't get pinned. Protected Lashley and the run he's been going on, the role he's on. But why the hell is Morrison still again Mrs. Patsy? Like, I can't fathom it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. I mean, he is that talented. I don't know. I mean, I didn't pay attention how big of a contract he got, how long it was, anything. But, like, how the hell is he still doing that over a year later? Like, now, Miz got to be champion. What are they going to do with Morrison? Let's have him keep being his Patsy? Like, Morrison deserves something better than that, in my opinion. But it was still a good match, powerful. People were pummeling each other. You got to see Lashley do what he does. Riddle got to do what he does in his own very unique way, and Morrison got to go flying around and doing all that parkour, stuff that he's really, really good at, which is what makes him so unique and so talented. I mean, maybe not as much anymore. We got a lot of high flyers people, but he was one of the very few back in the day that was like he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff compared to the rest of the roster at that point. So hopefully one of these days it's like Cesaro, except Cesaro's been there the whole time. Hopefully Morrison gets something besides just like being there, which is roughly all he's done, and sadly, that's my feeling. I mean, if you take tag teams out of the equation, and the U.S. title, I mean, they're minor stuff, like for Cesaro, but, like, when does he get his big push? Like, he's got the talent, he's got the strength, he can talk, he's got the look. I mean, when is he going to get to be champion? It's a crazy question. It's a serious question. Well, hopefully that moves on to something. Again, then, backstage, we see MVP talking with The Miz as the night progressed, looking like they're coming up with some kind of plan. We'll get into that later, but I'm wondering what that is going to bring and how fast they're going to bring it. But before we move on to that, we have to talk about the women's tag match for the women's tag title. I wasn't a fan of it, and we all knew what the outcome was going to be. We all knew it. Like Sasha and Bianca weren't going to win. Bringing out Carmella's sommelier whatever his name is, and just the way it ended was just dumb. I don't have a better word for it. I'm sorry, that was just dumb. If you thought that was good, you're an idiot. I have him come out, he rolls the bottle in, there's the referee going, like, oh, she's, I don't want to use this, what are you doing? And then Nia puts down the women's champion with a Samoan drop. I just didn't like it. It stunk to me. Could have done a lot better with the talent that they had in the ring. I mean, they all had their good moments, yes. Don't get me wrong, there was great wrestling. They were doing, they did their thing, but I didn't like it from the beginning, and then, the match happened, and, it proved everything I thought to be right. So, that was a big dud for me. Could just be me. I don't know. I didn't like it. Found it to be kind of pointless, but let's see what they push with everything, in the coming time, and see where they put Bianca for the match at WrestleMania, which, I'm looking forward to that, because there's going to be some good matches, especially if it's going to be outside with people like it was supposed to be last year. Hopefully everyone gets their moment then. I hope for that. And then we'll get on, finally, to the main event there, at the end of the night. And that was a great cell match. I mean, look at the people that were in there. Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles. I mean, just think of all the people that will be in the Hall of Fame. One day Kofi was in there, Randy. I mean, how about having Randy go out first? How many of us could say we were watching that and saw that coming? Randy, boom, gone. Now Randy dropping RKOs on everyone after. That didn't surprise anybody. Amos ripping the back of the pod off so AJ could try to run around, get in there and pin everybody. I mean, who really saw that coming? I mean, just because I don't think it's ever been done. There was some really good stuff, really good talent, good storytelling. People were out there just pummeling each other. Not as bad as, I went back and watched Survivor Series 02 with the first chamber match. I mean, not nearly as brutal as that, but that was all steel. There was no padding anywhere. That was just pure pain that night. And it hurts just to watch it again, it hurt. But, last night, they put on a great thing. It was that story was good. Everyone had their part. Everyone did their thing. I mean, they were building a bunch of it. The way Randy's been with Drew for the whole year, it seems. Pretty much. I mean, Kofi just got in there. Jeff Hardy. He's been here, there, and everywhere with everybody. He had his battles with Sheamus last year. They ended up in a bar fight and all that other stuff that they did. Picking on Jeff and his demons that we all know that he's struggled with. I mean, Kofi in his battles with Randy when he was champion, and before that even. Way back when Randy was running around Legacy and had his own, the NASCAR and car. And there's Kofi throwing orange paint all over it and just mauling the thing. I mean, there are a lot of stories that went back for just years. Sheamus and everything that's happening with Drew right now. It's great, how much intertwining for everything there was in that match. I mean, and I'm not going to go out and say, could it have been better? Everything could always be better. That's why everyone seeks perfection. Everything could be better. But I mean, they did a hell of a good job telling that whole entire story and putting everything together. Just with all the intertwining, and if they meant to do that or not, everyone's story at some point, they were all, that. And it was great. And at the end of the day, Drew retained. And then comes the tricky part that I was talking about earlier. What does that do for Bobby Lashley? Because after Drew wins, here's Bobby storming him, just pummels him all over the place, so that The Miz can cash in and win the championship. So what does that do with Bobby Lashley going forward? Does he go out, get a title match tonight? Does he go out with Fastlane? I mean, how long does it take for them to pull the trigger on that? Because now they have no choice but to do it. It's going to come. How long are they going to hold it on Miz after Bobby did that to get it? It seems like it's not going to last. And I mean, to me, it's feeling kind of like, Bobby finally getting his moment, and Drew, to get his moment, like, in front of actual people as he did in last year. It seems like that would be the Mania match they would go for, not, The Miz against either of them. Especially Bobby Lashley, because, look at Bobby Lashley compared to how they do Miz. The Miz would just get bombed, and no amount of John Morrison would help him. So I'm really intrigued to see how that goes. I'm sure I'll find out here in less than an hour what they're going to do, at least have some kind of idea on Raw. If I were y'all, I'd watch it. I'd tune in. Than that, watch NXT on Wednesdays. Watch SmackDown on Fridays. Watch the takeovers. Go back and watch old stuff. But what are they going to do with Bobby? That one I'm really intrigued about. Especially now that, again, after Roman was done with Daniel Bryan, who, if my hair was down, people say I look freakishly like, and I've been at music festivals and gotten yes chants before. I have witnesses to that. That's some weird stuff right there. But there came Edge, boom, spear. So now we already know what that's going to be set towards. So that means they're going to let Edge finally win, so he could be back on. He did a lot of stuff on Raw, but what do we all remember? Him and Hawkins and Ryder, Vicky, and Teddy Long was involved, like all of that. So I want to see what they're going to do with that in the time leading up, and who they're actually going to have walk away from that match at WrestleMania as champion, and just to see where that leads to. See if they stop making Edge look like he's so worn down in all these matches and wiped, because, we've all seen him train everyone's watch. The man's in great shape. He can go, so I don't know why they have him playing like half-dead old man all the time, but I'm really excited to see what that goes, and I'm even more excited for the match, really. They could put together something really well. Edge can. If Roman learns some new moves or something, everyone always butchers them, but I'm really intrigued. I'm super actually excited to see what they do with that. So we'll see how it all works out. But tonight's going to be the big one. What is going to come besides The Miz running his mouth about winning it because of the work that the Hurt Business did to help him get there? I'm just super, super intrigued. I hope all of you that are listening to this, anyone that's been watching and pays attention, is too, because it does help set up, just something at least different to go forward. You'll probably put Bobby finally in the main event picture after they found a way to get him out of the U.S. Championship picture, unless they throw him right back in there, but they had him not be the one to get pinned, so he could go right back into it, or he could finally get that main event thing. So I'm really, really intrigued into seeing how they spin all that, and one of these days we'll figure out what Bianca's going to do, but we still have many weeks and Fastlane to come, so there's lots of time for us to figure out all of that. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the first one. There'll be many more to come. Mark my words, I'm probably going to do it 6 days a week. Because again, there's shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then on Sundays, and I could do the reaction after that, which then Monday would be the reaction to pay-per-view, and then if there isn't one, I could talk about other pay-per-views and stuff from the past that tie in to what's going on now or the upcoming pay-per-view, and discuss all of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff we could do on this. I really look forward to the journey. I appreciate everyone listening. Don't forget to like, share, follow, tell people about it, because I'm just starting it. This is number one. I tried to send invites to people that I thought would at least like wrestling, that do like wrestling, that would listen, that give me honest feedback. So I really do appreciate all you. There's many more good things to come. I appreciate you guys watching this more than you'll ever know. And I will see you tomorrow, my friends. Peace.